Hi everybody, hi Den.
Hello.
Welcome to chapter 1 of our Run with Den series. All the gear, no idea. So
Okay.
Den, I've been told today you're going to tell us really all about the clothing aspect of Run with Den, just to get us started.
Okay.
Tell us first of all, what to wear. I put here that sometimes some people can be tempted to overdress. So tell me what you mean by that and all about clothing.
Well, I mean, the beauty of running is that actually, apart from the investment in shoes, it's quite simple really. You get a nice, decent pair of shorts. Compression socks are quite good to wear. I quite like to wear them because they obviously give you a bit of warmth on the calves, which obviously take a bit of a pounding on a run. So that encourages blood flow as well, apparently, with compression. And just a simple vest or t-shirt or a light sort of long sleeve top, depending on the weather. Now, obviously, we're in the middle of winter, so it's very tempting to, before you go out, to really overdress. Now, which is fine, but obviously once you start running, you're going to start getting warm, then it might become a little bit uncomfortable. So what I generally do is I can just go out in a t-shirt normally and just get warmed up. Pair of gloves, quite nice to wear. Woolly hat, obviously it's good for me because of my lack of hair. But I find it quite comfortable. Once I get moving, get the blood flow going, get nice and warm, then I'm perfectly fine. But we're all different. Some people like to put loads of layers on and they're absolutely fine. So that's the thing with running, it's very personal, and that leads me nicely onto shoes. So obviously out there, the marketplace in shoes is absolutely humongous. Take your pick, basically Nike, Adidas, Hoka, Brooks. I've tried them all, and again, it's personal taste on that, whether you like a lot of cushioning on your shoes or whether you like barefoot running shoes, which the science on that now is suggesting that that's probably a best way to go, because it's obviously better for your feet. So a lot of these shoes that are mass produced, the toe box is really quite tight, so that's obviously pushing your toes quite tight into the bottom of the shoe. So that can have an effect. So with barefoot shoes, and I've actually got some on here, so I'll show you these bad boys here. So as you can see, there is zero cushioning on these. It's almost like just a bicycle tyre underneath. So they're very much an acquired taste, because you obviously feel everything. But the beauty of these is that it splays your toes out. And the idea is that it gives that strength within the foot, so you literally feel everything. But it's really good for the foot, gives it a really good workout on the foot, and that obviously has a chain effect all the way up your leg, all the way up your back.
You mentioned as well, I think, Den, the conditioning of the foot earlier when we were talking. When you said you could feel everything,
yeah,
and it was giving you, it can condition the.
Yeah. So obviously, if you're running along sort of gravel, that you will feel every stone, every nook and cranny. So the idea behind that is that your foot will then react to what it feels, and the idea of that is that it will then adapt, become stronger, and obviously help you long term. But like I say, very much an acquired taste. If you're new to running, if you want to go down that route, then I'll just try them really and see how you get on. Or either just go for the sort of standard shoe that's out there. And for that, for sort of measuring your gait and that, you can go to a decent running shop and they'll put you on a treadmill, and they will video you running, which will show your gait, and then they can assess that and give you the shoe that works for you, which I've done numerous times as well. So,
do you have any advice, Dan, or any recommendations for people who've got maybe like flat feet or high arches at all? When you're running, are there any particular shoes that you could wear, or is that again dependent?
Yeah, I think I mean most of the shoes out there are for a neutral gait. So a good little hack on that is just to see what sort of gait you are. If you put a wet foot on the floor, come out the shower, put your foot flat on the floor, and just see the outline of your foot. and you should have a nice arch within that footprint. If not, if it's just a total flat, then obviously you're flat-footed. So with that in mind, you would go and speak to somebody in a sports shop and say, look, I think I'm flat-footed. We need to test it. And generally what they'll do then, they'll put some sort of insoles into the shoe to help you with that. That's generally what they do with that. So.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. Weighted vest to your weight, not weight, is that a bit of overkill when you're starting?
Definitely overkill when you start. It's a little bit mad. I've got a weighted vest and it's not even fully loaded, and you really do feel it when you got it on, when you run or when you do any sort of training with that. So I would suggest that you get a reasonable fitness first, and then if you want to up that level, it's a good way to do it, because it just makes you work that a little bit harder.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's further down the line.
Okay. And does that increase your strength, or does that increase your kind of your aerobic capacity, or both?
Definitely aerobic, because obviously working that a little bit harder and you can really feel it. Strength as well. I've actually worn it doing HIIT training as well, which is,
my word.
I know. I finished at the end and I thought, what have I done? But it gives you a really good, just takes it up a level, which sometimes you want to do, because the thing with all fitness really, if you do the same thing every time over and over again, you'll plateau. So sometimes you need that little bit of boost just to get the blood pumping that little bit harder, get that fitness up. So that's a good way of doing it, really.
Brilliant. So perhaps not to start with then.
No, don't do it to start with, not unless you're mad like me.
And then speaking of like weighting yourself down, what about, I've seen runners with these like water packs on, these like little backpack water pack things.
Yeah, I mean, I've used them for my marathon training, because obviously you need to hydrate throughout the run. So it depends on weather as well. Obviously this time of year you wouldn't need something like that really. Depends what you're training for. Marathon maybe yes, but even a half marathon, as long as what you should do really with hydration is hydrate every day. So minimum 2 litres every day if you can, and then that just keeps your body in the right way basically to run. So, and then you just need that little top up as you run. So obviously in the summer it's a little bit different, it's hotter, you sweat more, so you will need to hydrate more. So, but yeah, those little backpack things are great for marathon training. You can also add some electrolytes into the water to replace your salt loss as well, which is really important. Stop you cramping up. So yeah.
Okay, fab. And then what about watches? Do you have any recommendations on watches? Is it ideal? What do you think? Should you wear one?
I mean, that's again personal choice. I used to wear one quite a lot. Tech is good. Tech can be bad. So tech's good if you want to track your progress. You want to see how far you're running, what sort of pace you're doing. But sometimes, as they call it, it's good to run naked. So you've got no tech at all. Just go out and run free. Just run to how you feel. It doesn't matter really. But if you want to track your progress, then watches, apps. Strava's very good, because then you can link up with other people and you can share run experiences and give each other kudos, as they call it. So that's quite nice. Also, which is quite nice, is running clubs as well, that you can be part of that, and you can share ideas and tech and all that sort of stuff. But again, personal choice. I don't do it personally, but I used to, but not anymore. So I like to run free, and just me and the thoughts and the road, basically. So yeah.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, it does.
So, in a word then, Dan, if you was going out for a run for your first time, either ever or for a long time, well, we're in January now and it's a bit cold, so what would you recommend? So we've got, clothing wise, a t-shirt or a long sleeve top, leggings or shorts?
I would say for this time of the year, probably leggings or even the compression socks and shorts, and a light long sleeve top. Brilliant. Woolly hat, gloves. Brilliant. I think that would get yourself warmed up, get out there, and you'll soon warm up properly, because you don't want to start having to take layers off. Yeah. Because then you got, what I'm going to do with the layers, you can start carrying them while you're running. So, but again, it's personal choice. For me, that works for me. So it's not one size doesn't fit all. So yeah. But it's the good thing with running, you can just try it. Yeah. If it doesn't work, you find what works for you, basically.
I definitely agree there. And then We can either go barefoot technology in terms of shoes, or I suppose if you're trying running for the first time, you don't need any special running fancy shoes to start with. Is that as you start to get running and make it a more serious hobby?
Yeah, I think, you know, with Costa shoes, you know, you can pay up to £250, or you can get a reasonable pair for around £50. So as a start-up, you know, they're a proper running shoe. They're not a shoe you'd maybe play squash in, which you wouldn't do. So you can get a reasonable pair of shoes, reasonable price, and off you go and see how you go. And as you get better, then you can look around, try other shoes. But yeah, it's such a minefield really with shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. But I think the advice that you've given there really is see what works for you, and I think that's the best way. There's not a one size fits all, quite literally.
Absolutely not.
And then waiting further down the line, water bags, just hydrate before you go and top up if you need, more in summer. And then you can either run naked or not in terms of watches. Definitely clothed whilst running.
Yeah, not naked per se, but a lot of people doing that now. There's actually running clubs out there that encourage that. You just go out, chat, and just enjoy.
That's what it should be.
Absolutely.
Any other top tips for clothing?
No, I think that's it. I mean, you can get some running sort of rain jackets as well, which are quite nice. Keep the rain.
Yeah, high vis. What about
high vis? Very important. You can get head torches. Say again, it's a massive market. But yeah, if you want to run off road in the winter, it's dark. I mean, I would recommend that you go with somebody else just in case you take a fall. But do wear a head torch, or so you obviously see where you're going. And around the streets, highly recommend that you wear some sort of high vis. So a lot of these clothing now, they've got little stripes on, or little bits and pieces on them that are illuminated. So it's all, and even shoes, you can see them in the dark as well. So, but yeah, definitely recommend you do that.
Alrighty. And then I think last but not least, I've got one question I've just thought of, is actually, when it's icy, is that just a stupid thing to go out running, or can you
Never
run?
stupid. Yeah, I mean, if it's icy underfoot, just take care. I've tripped over roots on off road, you know, where I've clipped a root of a tree, but I've never gone over on ice. So, but yeah, just take care and just be sensible.
Of course.
Sure, be fine.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dan. That's everything.
Okay.
So stay tuned next week, because next week Dan's going to show us how to warm up and the pros and cons of different types of stretches available. Bye for now.
Bye. See you soon.